I'm going to take a little bit of liberty here, and I want to, because this is an issue that's, I've honestly, on Friday alone, I got 2 or 3 calls of people in tears. And that's with respect to the high-speed rail and the concern that it's causing in Eastern Ontario, and I assume as well in some of the rural areas of Quebec. They're really concerned out there, and I'm hoping we get some concrete answers as much as possible from you, Minister. So I'm just going to ask you some pretty concrete questions, and hopefully I'll get those answers. When will the final route be determined?
This year.
Thank you. When will expropriation begin, and when will property owners get notice of that?
The expropriation provisions, should they be adopted by Parliament, that land acquisition phase would begin almost immediately.
And what notice would they receive of expropriation, first right of refusals, or other limitations on their properties being registered?
What note?
What notice? How much time will they get in terms of from the time when they're told that their property is potentially expropriate to the time when they are having their property taken from them?
I'll get back to you on the exact time frames, but there will be lots of contact. We will have extensive maps published of the exact alignment, and people will on the ground, will be on the ground to meet with property
Minister,
owners.
My next question, Minister, is with respect to the crossing. So one of the other concerns I've heard from my residents is that, and people agree, it's a laudable goal to be able to get from Ottawa to Toronto in less than 2 hours. That's great. But their concerns are the fact that they are now going to have their communities bisected by this high-speed rail. Where now there will be students that will be separated from their classrooms, workers that will be separated from their offices, farmers separated from their fields, and patients, perhaps most troubling, separated from their hospitals. What guideline or restrictions are you putting on Alto in terms of how long between crossings?
So I want to sort of start at the beginning here and say that the first and most important thing is we're talking about a 60-meter maximum wide corridor. Maps have been published, obviously, to be able to study options on the entire alignment, right from Quebec City to Toronto. Consultations are happening as we speak to get community voices involved to deal exactly with the kind of thing, Mr. Lawrence, that you're discussing. It's just, we need a crossing here. We need a livestock accommodation here. We don't want to split this field in two. So it's exactly that kind of anecdotal and other data that Alto is looking for. We're obviously very well aware of the concerns, the kind that you're raising. I can't answer for every spot along the alignment of a 1,000+ kilometer linear project, but what I can say is that we will be very sensitive, and those who have those kinds of concerns or questions, I would direct them to the Alto consultation currently occurring so that their voices may be heard. And if you specifically have those who are expressing those things to you, send them to us, and we'll aim to get them satisfaction.
I don't mean to interrupt here, but just specifically what my concerns, and quite frankly, right along Eastern Ontario, is that quite a few of the hospitals and other infrastructure are located around the 401 corridor. And people from north of where the projected line of, regardless of whether it was even just a meter, the fact that there's no crossing means instead of it taking you 20 minutes to get to hospital, it's now going to take you, it could be an hour or 2 hours. So we really do need information on that. Our residents do as soon as possible.
Both you and I are probably very eager to land on the final alignment. The reason why this phase that we're going through is important, and I understand that it raises concerns in some places, is to hear exactly those stories. Where access to hospitals, where access to fields, what agricultural operations is it important that we not affect, and so on. So this is why we have
one quick question.
We have this process ongoing
before
now.
My time's up, sorry, Minister. But it's been reported that there's going to be financial analysis that you brought in consultants. Will you make that public, and will you commit today to sharing that?
With respect to high-speed rail? Yes. Well, look. This is a very transformative, ambitious project. and will require major investments on the part of the Government of Canada. This is a decision that will be made by Parliament, and so Parliament will have all the information that it requires in order to enable itself to make that decision.
Thank you, Mr.